So who should not invest in real estate?
We don't at least have 0.5x of the value of the property. Don't even think of coming in real estate. In a place like India, you'll have to pay at least 20%.
Are you serious? How long do you think someone should wait before flipping properties?
I feel at least wait for the completion stage.
You can actually complain on the website using your Emirates ID, and I will be summoned to Dubai Land Department in 48 hours.
Wow.
No, I see a lot of people getting stuck with that.
Now, capital gains tax is a killer.
Can you explain what is the capital gain tax?
Why would you do that to yourself? Property
Correct.
is not your day trading, your stock market. Take care of your mental health. Very, very important, because it's very easy to go in a dark hole over here.
Hello everybody, welcome to the second episode of the Emirates Nest podcast. In case you have not watched the first episode, I would strongly urge you to do so because that is where we've set the tone of what we're going to be doing. Now in today's podcast, we're going to be covering how real is real estate. So there's this whole notion globally that Dubai's real estate is booming, it's a bubble that's about to be bust, and everyone's money is going to come down and so on. So we're going to be talking about how likely is it that your money may not fetch you the returns that you're looking for. Are we expecting a crash in comparison to the rest of the world where you're looking at mutual funds and other investment modules? Is real estate still a viable option or not? So without wasting more time, let us get straight into the conversation with the experts themselves. We have Rohit Bachani and Asha Lakhwani from Merlin Real Estate here to talk about all of this. So let's get to them. Firstly, how are you, Rohit? How are you, Asha?
All well, thank you.
We are all in a high thanks to the first episode.
I'm glad.
Looking for the next one.
We loved watching you. We loved watching you spill so many interesting beans, the way I would say it, on real estate. So let's get started. So see, now we're at this time where Trump has come into power again, okay? And the markets globally, financial markets are fluctuating like anything. And in fact, they're going down. While we see things tumbling down a bit, real estate still remains at an all-time high if you're at least looking at the Dubai market. Okay, do you think that this is like a reality check for the people who had dismissed the power of real estate?
Thanks, Diksha. Your questions are very spontaneous. I wish I had more time to prepare for these questions, but I think I like the tone that these questions come directly to us and we can reply on the fly. See, real estate and gold. I like to put gold also, even though it's on a gold podcast. These are something which our parents, grandparents have always taught us, at least as Asians, that everyone should have land, property, gold. And these basics don't change. So I think you're right. After Trump has come in, we do need to give the reality check that even though whatever you're doing in the markets, whether you're leveraged, whether you're not leveraged, a good chunk of your portfolio should always be real estate and gold. And again, I like to bring gold in the topic as we've seen the all-time highs of gold. I think it's crossed maybe 400 dirhams per square foot or $3,200. Coming back to real estate, it's a tangible product. And anything tangible in your portfolio, you do need it. And Trump has given us that reality check.
So now, when we're from a very Asian community, we do understand. घर में शुरू से बोलते थे gold में पैसा डालो, जैसे आपने बोला घर बनाओ छत होनी चाहिए and all of that. But there's this misconception, and this is actually drawing in from Ramit Sethi's podcasts, okay? And he's like, your rent in an apartment is the maximum you're paying. But your mortgage, when you're buying a house, is the minimum you are paying. And then he was actually advising that perhaps for everyone, real estate is not the best cookie. What is your take on this?
I agree wholeheartedly.
So who should not invest in real estate?
It's a very strong point. Who should not invest in real estate is, I'll give you a hypothetical statistic so people who are listening to us can understand very directly and easily. Let's look at a basic property in Dubai, $1 million dirhams. If you don't have half of that in your bank account, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Even though a mortgage guy will come and tell, say, no, just 20% is more than enough. 20 plus 4% stamp registry plus 2, that's maybe 260,000 dirhams of the 1 million. Whether it's 10 million or 100 million. If you don't at least have 0.5x of the value of the property, don't even think of coming in real estate. Be very honest. There are a lot of people who said, we'll flip it. Agar aapko 1 lakh dirham mein bahut hai, bale 1 million ka hai. And that is where trouble lies. If you don't have your EMI money, why would you get into something like that?
Yeah.
So yes, there are people, our job is not to convince people to buy real estate. Our job is to advise them who've already understood, look, we want to buy real estate, now where and what.
Correct. Correct.
So why we cannot tell anyone.
We can't convince people to, buy a property for themselves. I mean, they should be ready and, and then they come to us.
Ji.
That,
But I'll tell you, see, this is what I think brings us to our next question, because UAE is now flooded with so many brokers who are actually promoting real estate left, right, and center to every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saying that, this is the best way to go forward and all that. And the thing is, people like us or people around who don't really know the nitty-gritties of real estate, we believe कि हाँ ठीक है कर लो, जैसे इन्होंने बोला ना, even if you have 260,000, हाँ ठीक है ब्रोकर ने कन्विंस कर दिया, पैसे डाल दिए, काम खत्म. उसके बाद में God forbid, there is a calamity, there is some unforeseen circumstance. How are you going to be making, sure that you're meeting your ends then? That is not, that people don't calculate. So I think this point that you mentioned, that at least 0.5 of your total properties investment you should have as liquid cash in your account. I think that is really important. Now, this brings me to my next question, that how would you differentiate between a good broker and a not so good broker? So when you're actually going to choose a broker, what is the ideal checklist? How do you choose the broker you need to deal with?
Well, that's again a great question. And, Asha and me have been on the other side of the table. We bought multiple properties in Dubai before we actually were convinced that, we do have what it takes to be also a brokerage. It's a big responsibility. We are convincing people on their life savings. So when we used to shop around, so let's come on that side of the table, and where we also did find some good brokers and not so good brokers. Dubai Land Department has made life easier for us. I'll again make it a little boring for our viewers, but at the same time, it's very direct information. That go to Dubai Land Department website. It's not these boring websites around the world. DLD is one of the best websites in the world.
The official website.
Portal, yes.
Portal. It works on blockchain. All of us, Asha, me, we are all rated over there. 27,000 brokers are on Dubai Land Department. And you can just search how many transactions we have done.
Yeah.
Now, if I tell you, Diksha, ki मैंने Emirates Sales 500 million का भेजा है, मैंने Palm Jumeirah 100 million का भेजा है, and you believe me on face value.
How do you know I'm speaking
You
the
can
truth?
just go on your phone, look me up and see whether I'm walking the talk. Whether
Very
I've
interesting.
actually done these transactions. And what are my ratings.
Yeah.
So let
That
me
is so
even
important.
let me even expand to that. 25,000 mein, only 12 brokers are 5-star.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not
That
one of
is
them.
not even 1%. उससे भी बहुत कम, 0 पे से.
So it's a tier system. It's not like, if I get a 5-star, immediately next day I'll become 5-star.
Sure.
If I get 10 5-stars, I will come as a 1-star rating. Then we go to 2-star.
Because that's in comparison.
Ji.
Achha, it's
And the more deals you do, you grow. And then
Achha.
you become a 2-star broker, 3-star broker. I'll be very proud to say, as a seemingly younger broker in Dubai, I'm a 4-star broker.
which is very nice.
It
Very
took some
nice.
time. And that means I'm in the top 150 brokers from 27,000 brokers.
Wow.
Which is tooting my horn, but
Of course.
it took some effort to reach there. And the people who are in the top 12, they have been in a business for 25 years. And I think each of them have closed over billions of dollars of business.
Sure.
So they are an institution in their own right. But yes, being in a top 100 out of 27,000, I think it's something Asha and me are very proud of.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of weightage in these ratings. So suppose you buy a property from me, you will get a proper questionnaire once the deal is concluded from Dubai Land Department, not from me, not from Google. And they will keep on sending you a mail till you fill it up.
Achha.
That they want to know how good was I.
How good
And that's what I love about Dubai Land Department. They keep that check in place.
But
And
at least it's regulated, right? Which is a good thing.
I'll add one more thing for our viewers. Okay, you will give the thing, and it's not just on my value of the property. How I conducted, the advice was good, a proper questionnaire, and
Yes.
I get rated on that.
Yes.
Even if you did not like my services or any broker, you can actually complain on the website using your Emirates ID, and I will be summoned to Dubai Land Department in 48 hours.
Wow.
And they said this client was not happy. Now please tell us why. So it's not a joke being a broker.
Correct. That is quite profound. I didn't know about this. It's quite interesting.
So the reputation is very important for you, and we are connected to DLD. We are registered with them, and actually I like it. It वो कहते हैं the chaff from the wheat. We know that who is good and who is not with a very great land department overseeing us. So
Correct.
oversight is always
Keeps
there.
a check on the system. Everything
100%.
is, like you.
It's fair.
It's fair, like
Yes.
and
transparent.
and so it's become so easy for clients to actually go look up and see, rather than just going to anybody and believing everyone, anybody
Correct.
for what they're saying.
Correct.
So if the data is there, just go look up, and
Absolutely.
it becomes like so easy for you to choose.
I make a joke with Asha. Whenever my client gets over, I talk like a Uber driver. Please give me a 5-star.
So rating ना Zomato वाला भी sir rating देके जाना it's like हाँ ठीक है. No, but that is amazing. See, I'll tell you what, these are some things that a lot of people don't know.
Ji.
I didn't know. I have been dealing with real estate agents for the last 1.5 years. This is the first time I've gotten to know that you guys have these kind of ratings, and this is how people can be summoned as well, which is I think great information. Now Rohit, you did mention that, and I do understand you're relatively very young into real estate in comparison to people who've been here for 25 years and so on. But you still managed to make a mark, because I see you a lot in Arabian Business, Economic Times, here and there, and it's everywhere. I want to know, what is the advice that you would like to give to brokers who are actually starting out, how to build that brand for themselves, how to just get started with getting through to rebuilding your name?
Thank you, Diksha. Very profound question again. I'll give the answer little, maybe not cliche, little out of maybe the syllabus. A new broker in Dubai, a pressure environment, like I just told you, 27,000. Please take care of mental health. Be it a male mental health or female mental health. We don't talk much about it. So first thing is to balance that. When I say mental health, do not expect a deal to come in a day or a week or a month. It takes perseverance. 6 months, 1 year, I know people, including us sometimes, it's very dry. We don't get deals. And sometimes it's a whole, you get a whole flow of deals, like Ganga Behri hai. So that is very important. Keep the patience and be true to yourself.
Correct.
It's very easy looking at all these very, like I said, there are only 100 top brokers, and of course they're doing billions of deals. When you see that in social media, even we get sometimes a little insecure. क्या हो रहा है, हमने तो इतना deal किया नहीं अभी. So these are things we all face. I think this insecurity happens in high value deals. I've seen it happen maybe in where there is like Hollywood or Bollywood. Of course, we don't claim to be that, but there is a lot of insecurity. So first thing for a new broker is treat it like a challenge. Take care of your mental health. Very, very important, because it's very easy to go in a dark hole over here because it says no regular income.
Correct.
So that's very, very important. And, sorry, I'm putting it out there. I don't know if I should. Maybe it's my personality. I don't want to talk about my personality to others, but these 27,000 brokers overdress a lot. मैं कह रहा हूँ relax करो, आप broker हो, आप you're not an investment banker or something like of the 80s or 90s with a 4-piece suit and all.
अरे मैंने I saw broker, my goodness, वो तो bow tie भी लगा के, तो मैंने कहा शादी है किसी की, मतलब इतने प्यार से मुझे इतना लगा, मैंने कहा इतना एफर्ट डाला है बेचारे ने मिलने के लिए, मिल ही लेते हैं, let us just.
But don't get me wrong, if that is your personality, you've always liked to dress up, please do. I'm nobody to tell you, but if you're a jeans and a t-shirt guy, go in jeans and t-shirts, not gonna kill. Essentially, it's what is over here.
Yeah.
Also, when you're more authentic to yourself, okay, you attract authentic people too.
Yeah.
So, and matlab, it's very easy to get people to say, "Arey, I'm going to be investing 1 million, 2 million, 10 million." How much do you really know how much do they have in their bank account? Unless they're sealing the deal with you. A lot of
Exactly.
people obviously
Yeah,
come, window shop, etc. And they just go like, "Acha, theek hai, nahi, ye nahi chahiye, wo nahi chahiye," etc. You don't really know what do they have. So, which is good. So you should be authentic to yourself. Go out and close deals. Next, let's come to understanding the hot topic in town, which is taxes. Okay. I want to know, is there property tax in Dubai?
Last I checked, as of today, 0.
Okay. So we have zero property tax. Great. Now, in comparison to the rest of the world, where else do we not have property tax? And why? I mean, what difference does it make while you're investing in Dubai in comparison to the rest of the world?
Well, most of the countries do have property taxes. Our own India, number one, where we come from, the passports we hold, huge property taxes. Not just property taxes, capital gains tax. Now, capital gains tax is a killer. If
Can you explain what is the capital gain tax?
suppose your dada bought a property for 1 lakh,
Yes.
today it's 100 crores.
Right.
That 1 lakh to 100 crores, you will pay 20% of that.
On 100
Of the
crores?
gain, yeah. Because
Oh.
you are gained by 100 CR.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's a very big 50-year
Of course,
thing. Agar
yes.
आपने 10 crore की चीज you sold for 15 crores, you have a 5 crores gain.
Gain.
Or 10 million to 15 million dirhams. In a place like India, you'll have to pay at least 20%
Are you serious?
of the 5 CR. Unless you invest that immediately in another long-term asset.
Oh, okay.
If you cash it out, first you have to pay our finance ministry this type of money of 20%.
20% is huge.
It's huge. And over that are more taxes. This is just a capital gains
This is
tax.
just one.
And then you have to go to multiple departments, pay the tax, sometimes be questioned, where did this money come from, why it came from. Well, Dubai, it's so simple. You bought for 1 million, you sold for 10 million, then 9 million profit is yours. Put it in your pocket and buy another property.
Or do whatever you want to do with it.
Go to Switzerland for a vacation,
Yes.
buy a yacht, buy a private jet. No one's gonna stop you.
Sure. That is I think that's a big gain. That's one of the biggest perks. Because okay, let's face it. Even if you're paying a property tax, you're paying capital gains tax, etc. Sometimes you do need to encash the property because you need that money. Sometimes you keep a property for a rainy day, right?
Exactly.
So when you need it,
Yeah.
imagine then you're losing out to 20% and so on. So obviously that whole value of appreciation, it just obviously leaves this thing in your heart that I worked so hard and this is what it is.
And it's not just India, America, any part of Europe, UK. The minute you sell, capital gains tax apply.
Yes.
And let's now stick to a rental. We take a property to get rental income.
Sure.
Now, rental income, maybe you get taxed. In Dubai, whatever rental income you get, zero tax.
Zero tax.
So everything touchwood goes. That's why we commit and promise you get 6 to 8%. I think that was one of our podcast topics of
Yes.
the first episode.
Yes.
6, 7, 8%. I have properties in US touchwood, properties in UK, properties in India. Now, because I know I'm not income tax, I can come in a public forum and tell I have properties over here.
Correct.
I'm not hiding it.
Yes. But if you were Indian based in India, you would not, be
Not
very
be comfortable.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
And now that's the most important thing. My properties in US, my properties in UK, very nice places. I only get 2 to 3%. And then I pay taxes. Sometimes I'm out of pocket. Sometimes जेब से देना पड़ता है.
Correct.
In Dubai, that never happens.
Sure.
It's actually an income generating tool for you.
Correct. Which is true, which is nice. Well, which brings me to my next question. Now, this is, imagine we are in the middle of a masterclass for investors, because which we are in. Okay, we're telling them how to invest, where to invest, and so on. So this is my question to both of you. What is one golden piece of advice you would want to give investors? Maybe one myth you would like to bust each.
Well, interesting. I feel one golden piece of advice I would say, don't be in a hurry to flip properties. I just feel there's no patience left anymore. All investors, most of them, they are like, they buy the property with us and then they, phase 1 being complete by, and they're like, we want to flip and please help us sell it. And they have, when they're investing, they have a certain, return amount in their head. And then they're like, oh, you won't get that. You won't get that, right? You should wait Just wait. And what's the hurry? Unless it's an emergency or something you need to leave. But have the patience, keep the property, wait for it to get ready, and then you'll get your, the yield you're expecting. So which is becoming very common now, and they just want to I think that's become the new trend that, they want to keep flipping properties, which I feel is, not necessary.
But why do you think it is not the right strategy to go with?
I feel you're not getting the right amount of return that you deserve on that property.
And how long do you think someone should wait before flipping properties?
I feel at least wait for the completion stage, and
Right.
then I'm the kind of return you're expecting, you deserve, the ROI, the reason you're investing, you should at least have that much patience, and then get into.
But is it true that when you're obviously investing, and when we are, there's this myth, I've been told this by a lot of people, that when you're investing in an off-plan property, the earlier you flip it, the better money you make. The closer to completion it is, that is when things get a bit, obviously very teary sorts.
That is really, I'm sorry, it's not very good advice what has been told.
Yeah.
The reason being is, let's look at technically. So I'm sorry, I'm coming from a technical point of view. First of all, you can't flip a property or off-plan property till you have paid at least 40 to 50%.
Correct.
So that defeats the purpose. Okay, we'll flip it after initial. So till the 50% installments in the second or third year of your investment.
Correct.
So yeah, it's off-plan. You need to, like Asha said very rightly, it should go to completion. That's the only way you can unlock value to your products, to your property. And the closer it's to completion, the more value. Obviously, see, I'll give you a very simple example. Phase 1 of any, let's take my favorite, Emaar.
Sure.
Phase 1 of maybe Dubai Hills, I'm talking about 5 years ago. There was Sidra 1 or Maple 1. It launched at 2-3 million. Emaar themselves launched the similar product 4 years later while the phase 1 was getting completed at 5 million. So anyone who bought at 2 million or 2.5 million, immediately the developer's only selling the same product at 5 million. So your product has already become 2.5 to 5. Imagine if I would have said 2.5 ka bhi 3 ho gaya, 3.5 ho gaya, let's sell it. It would have been
you miss out on all of that, right?
And now it's going at 10 million.
Yes.
Sidra.
Yes.
So why would you do that to yourself? Property
Correct.
is not your day trading, your stock market.
ऊपर गया नीचे गया जल्दी बेच
Swing trade कर लिया 5% बन
getting a
गया.
better deal, चलो यहाँ invest करो, you should,
Headache. Yeah.
I feel you should have that much patience.
Otherwise, don't get into property.
Otherwise, don't get into property.
Correct. Which is true. What's one myth you would like to bust?
Oh, I thought we have expand busting it together. So one more bust don't do. आपको पैसा charge करना चाहिए. If you're going to spit so many busts to this podcast, I don't want to spill the beans so much.
Oh yeah.
No,
I
but
think, foreign investors are quite insecure in thinking that that is one thing which I feel that is not true, because foreign investors they call us and they're like, it's not safe to invest in Dubai. That I don't think is true, because nowadays with all this escrow accounts and everything, I feel that it's become much more smoother, much more safer, and the developer cannot touch your money until they have done a certain amount of completion. So I think Dubai gives you that stability. Definitely it is much more safer to invest here. I'm not talking about the early years and everything, but nowadays the rules are changing, everything. So
have changed.
They have changed, and that's why we have so many people, investing.
That's something I would like to debunk. People do have that unsavory taste of 2008.
Yes.
But 2008 हो चुका है, अभी 2025 चल रहा है. Just grow up.
And that too, Dubai is one of the countries, and I think we should really be proud of this, that we learn very quickly and we adopt and we change. And
yes.
So why foreign investors come with that thing? Because they are coming from countries where things don't change.
They don't change, yes.
So I have lived in the UK. I visited London in 2001, and then I went in 2016 for my postgrad. And trust me, in those 15 years, jo the, London had not changed much.
And needle hasn't moved at all.
Nothing. I still see the same structures. I still see everything. There's nothing changed. Rules are same. Laws are same. People have gone poorer. Disposable income has reduced. That's how it is. So because they come from those school of thoughts, right? Where things
It's
don't
difficult
change.
to accept how a place
How-
like Dubai
yes.
is,
how is it? It's, how do they say it's too good to be true?
too good to be true.
हाँ,
Yes, absolutely.
वो ऐसा
वो
हो सकता
acceptance
है.
नहीं आ रही है, that's
क्योंकि
the-
पता है इंडिया में भी चीजें चेंज नहीं
नहीं
होती.
होती है, नहीं.
Can I do a personal confession?
हाँ जी.
This is, admitting weakness, but I'll still bring it up because we don't have a crystal ball. Now, me and Asha talk about this in our dinner table and all. Now, we have put a X amount in UK properties. I told you I have.
Sure.
Now, I invested that in 2010. Now it's 2025. 15 years we have those properties over there. Multiple properties, 4-5-6 property है जो X amount पे है. If I would have put that money in Dubai,
Yeah.
we keep on talking about that. Ki, of course, we have to have a diversified
Of
portfolio.
course, you can't put all your eggs in one
But
basket.
at
basket.
that time when we invested in UK and if we just calculate what return, what gain we would have
Had here.
Maybe एक मेरा हेलीकॉप्टर
मतलब
होता बाहर, एक दो नीचे और फरारी लैम्बोर्गिनी होते, अगर वो हम दुबई में पैसे रखते, same value. I'm not saying
Same
extra.
value.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
कभी your timing also matters. So there are a lot of
Destiny.
factors.
Destiny.
Whenever whatever is going supposed to happen, वो तभी
Yeah, and I'm not talking bad about any particular
Yeah,
country and all,
correct.
but Dubai is just given as over expectations means it's overperformed.
Sure. It has overperformed. That is
It's
true.
beautiful.
Yes. Rohit, for someone who has been here and of course you have built your personal wealth too, you mentioned that you've had properties in UK, USA, India and other countries. How would you advise someone who wants to build his financial wealth only through real estate? How would you advise him to diversify his income in this industry?
Thank you. Again, excellent question. I'll bring back a few good points Asha and you yourself have brought, Diksha. Financial growth through real estate is, I think, the best way to grow wealth, for sure. Like gold, real estate. Now, suppose you don't have a big amount, which is, or you don't want to put a big amount, and you want to start small. Keep it simple. Buy off-plan. Off-plan is the best way because even if you commit to a 2 million, 3 million, 5 million dirham property, your first 2 years will be maybe a fraction of that, 20, 40%. Not with the fact of flipping it, that you are also a growing person. You're in your maybe 20s or 30s and you're also earning. And not everyone has some, Dadaji ka paisa, Papa ka paisa. Not everyone is daddy ki pari, ki madam daddy paisa de raha hai, So we are all earning money.
Correct.
And so you start early, number one. The earlier you start, the best in anything. And in real estate, why should you wait till you're 40, 50, 60? Start when you're 20. Buy a studio. Take 3 years to pay it. I'm sure those who think about real estate can enter.
Sure.
And if you do have that wealth benefit of maybe buying a villa or plots, I think the crux of the whole answer is start early.
Correct.
Keep it simple.
Like we were discussing this just today about the Gen Zs, that how they're on top of everything. They're like so aware. They know everything. They start early. I just feel that they're not emotionally attached to properties and how it is. And I just feel that they that's the trend now. Compared to like how people used to think earlier.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no emotion for them.
There's no emotion
Now, yes,
for
because
them.
see, we come from a culture where home carried a lot of emotion. It was a big thing.
Yes.
People would not get married to the other person if he didn't have a house of his own. This used to be a checklist.
कि घर है,
etc.
that was very important.
आज
Yes,
बंदा Airbnb में रह रहा, शादी हो जाती है उसकी, and so तो मैं वही कह रही हूँ, हम वो कल्चर से आते हैं. अभी धीरे धीरे क्या हुआ है? With our parents, etc., coming into being, they have realized that it is a tradable asset. It is something that that you can use to generate wealth, okay, and that you can have multiple sources of income, and so on. So now, the generation that we have, the Gen Z, which is coming up, their intention is more like, okay, we need to make money. Whatever can make us
money. It's all about
money.
making money. How you want to monetize.
Correct.
Everything.
Absolutely.
And, I just feel that's amazing.
Yeah,
we need to learn from them.
Yeah, they need to. It's good to be practical, right, about
why,
things.
that old thing कि भाई 40 में ये करेंगे, settle होंगे, we're gonna get a house. No, In
Get
20s,
start-
maybe
start
you can
early.
do that. Yeah,
Yes.
Start
20s.
early,
Start
and
early.
there's a lot of ways. Suppose, okay, I said a studio.
Yeah.
Studio is also a big amount, let's be honest. 6-7
course.
lakh dirham is not a joke for anyone.
Sure.
Luckily, because of Gen Z, people have understood there is fractionalization of investments. There's tokenization now.
Tokenization.
DLD is going in a very big way for tokenization. And that will be a way. If you have 10,000 dirhams, 2-3 lakh rupees, put in, buy
Correct.
1% of a property.
Correct.
वो प्रॉपर्टी अगर 6 लाख का 12 लाख हो गया, आपका 10,000 dirham 20,000 हो गया, and you exit. So everything is tokenized, everything is fractionalized nowadays. So it is in a reach for everyone.
Sure.
So real estate is not just like emotional product. It could be you could do your research. This is where I want, this is the area I want to buy. And in this area, I could tokenize, buy a part of a property.
I
And
think everybody benefits,
Yes.
any type of thinking, any type of age group. If you want to keep your property, you keep it, that you'll get, a certain value after like a certain, time. If you want to, sell it early, wherever you see
Correct.
the benefit, everybody,
the
is
benefit also comes to the landlord. He's tokenizing his property. If he needs money, like you said, okay, this is a tradable asset. He can just sell 10% of his property
Sure.
instead of selling the whole property.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this digital blockchain, that I know this is not your question, but I think it's gradually, if you're talking about Gen
Yeah.
Z, they're really going towards these type of investments.
I think
now.
next podcast we should actually have on tokenization and perhaps understanding it, going in more deeper. How
I
can
would love
people
that.
do this? It would be very
It's
interesting.
one of my very favorite topics, and I would love to dig deep and
Yes.
delve deep into tokenization.
Now, we have heard so much about Emar in your reels, etc., that have, had that amazing reach. You only choose to work with certain developers. You don't work with all developers. Now, what is your checklist when you are observing developers or shortlisting developers to work with? What criteria do they have to match to be chosen by you? Let's put it that way.
That's a very humbling question. We do not, we are just a simple broker. We are no one to choose.
Yes.
But of course, like I said in the first part of our podcast, people trust their life savings with us. So this the least we can do is vet our developers. I don't think there's much to vet about Emar.
Yes, of course.
If anything, Emar should vet us if we deserve
that
to
is
sell.
true. That is true.
If
Emar
we
should
deserve to
vet.
sell them or not.
Absolutely.
But yes, there are many brokers out there, and they do sell good products. Recently, I would like to recommend, I don't do that, it's not a plug, but I was talking about this beautiful project on Sheikh Zayed Road called the Chedi. CHED. I know Chedi is a lovely Swiss company which has resorts all over the world, and they are coming with a private residence. Spa type residence. They do these 5-star resorts in Bali. And that, apart from Emar, I was like, wow, this is something I would like to stay in. And I went all out, Asha and me and our whole team. So when we like something, we go all out.
Correct.
And we know the developers, we know that these people have done a lot of great things before. Maybe they're not as big as Emar but sometimes when you come with these unique niche products, so it's not that we only do these A+++. Even this is a A+++, but yeah, they don't have 2,000 buildings behind them. But when they come with such unique propositions, location, brand, the finishing, we've seen all of it in-house. And so there's the criteria is not only limited to Emar, Shobha, Damak, Arada. Arada is a great developer, by the way.
Correct.
They are based in Sharjah.
Yeah.
And they are run by the Crown Prince.
But they're doing very well.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Very well. और बहुत अच्छे villas हैं. Very nice stuff they're doing.
The
It's
same people
beautiful.
who develop Barari, the landscaping.
Yes.
Very nice communities.
Very nice
60% is
communities.
dedicated to greenery.
Yeah.
And we, if someone says, nowadays townhouses, villas are like 8, 9, 10 million dirhams. I said, no problem, Arada le lo. 611 में Villanova से 5-10 किलोमीटर आगे.
Correct.
And you will get for 2 million a townhouse.
True.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I'm putting plugs, but I really genuinely believe
Right.
in these developers.
Which is right. So coming to the conclusion of the podcast, I want to understand what is the 2040 master plan and what does it mean for investors?
Well, I've really researched into 2040. I hope I'm alive to see those days. First is the population growth.
Sure.
We all know Dubai is going to look at 5.8 to 6 million people by 2040. Bear in mind, during COVID, we were below 1.7 million.
Yes.
Right now, we are 3. But just 3-4 years ago, we are half of this population. So I think 5.8 and 6 at 2040, which is over 15 years ago, is very conservative, in my opinion. The government knows what they are doing. They're saying 5.8. 6 million, maybe more. It should be more. And I don't think the way all the developers are making apartments, villas, townhouses, we don't have enough. And the 2040 master plan is focusing on greenery, focusing on urban metro plans. It's focusing on coastal plans, coastal roads. They are actually going to make mangroves over here. So, like I said, I wish we are alive to see that time. 15 saal, hopefully we should.
Oh, 15 saal is nothing.
I mean, what, 40, 57? It will be a utopia. Already Dubai is a utopia.
Absolutely.
It's something we've only dreamt of, and we're actually living it.
Yes.
We don't know how blessed we are to live in such a lovely city.
Sure.
But with this master plan, I encourage all of us listening to this podcast is to read about a 2040 master plan.
Yeah.
Dubai, if you think this is modern and this is amazing and you're loving the air taxis and all this, just read a bit about a 2040. I know at the end of the podcast, I can't talk much about it. I can just say, wow.
No, it is futuristic. It's inspiring. It actually, puts you in another world. It makes you believe in the power of vision. And I believe if you have the vision, you will achieve it, which I think is very, very nice. Well, thank you so much, Rohit and Asha.
Thank you.
For your time. For everyone who's watching us, I would honestly request all of you to go to the Emirates Nest podcast on Instagram. Follow us for more such podcasts on the reality of real estate. And please get in touch with Rohit and Asha. Their contact details are in the description box. If you want to buy a property in Dubai, if you're considering exploring a property in Dubai, and of course, if you're someone from the Gen Z wanting to know about tokenization, buying a part and so on, it would be amazing. Have a chat with them. I promise you'll be blown. Can I ask you all to kindly hit the bell icon so you're subscribed to this channel as well. And up until next time, we will prepare for some very good stuff to share with you in the next podcast. Thank you so much. Take care.